All right, welcome everybody again. So we're going to be talking about what is your superpower. So it's something that I've been thinking about for a long time. I think I finally figured out what it is, what mine is. Maybe you've got more than one. Maybe you're lucky. Maybe you can hear things. Maybe you can go through life and nobody sees you. Maybe you're super strong. I don't know. I don't have any of those, but I want you to take notes as we go along today. So first of all, you do have powers. You do have a superpower that drives you. Maybe you're not aware of it. Maybe you're better off than I am, but this is pretty funny. But I want to give credit where credit is due. This is not my content. I heard this from Anna Nelson. She is a consultant, a strengths coach, and she was featured on Heather Sager's podcast. She is a graduate of Heather's Speak Up to Level Up program that I've mentioned to some of you who are on the calls frequently, that I did Heather's round 2 of her Sulu class. And she had Anna on her podcast. It's episode 69. I put the link here. But it's a pretty great episode. She had really easy content that really kind of got me thinking. As I am working now with a business coach, finally decided to get some help myself, because I don't want to just like preach it. I want to live it. And I've kind of been stuck in a growth space where I'm not an independent consultant technically. I have a business. I have people that I work that work for me and consultants that work with me. But I'm not a big entity. So I've been in a pain point. So I thought Anna's podcast conversation was really helpful. So let's jump right into her 4 things that you need to think about to identify your superpower. So one is ease. How easy is it for you to do the thing that really, it's just something that you find super easy. So this is a picture of my now signature cookie. This is the Disco Dan cookie that I came up with as part of a class, a baking class. I don't know if you've ever heard of Milk Bar in New York. Teddy has, right? We may have talked about this. So very intense class. It was like 30 days. But I find cooking and baking super easy. That is not hard for me at all. I know a lot of people that say, oh my God, I hate cooking, or I don't know how to cook, or I'm a terrible cook. And to me, it's like, if you can read, you can cook. It's really no big deal. I can have 30 people in my house for Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter, and I don't break a sweat. It's super easy for me. So jot down what are some of the things that come to mind when it comes to your evaluation business, your consulting business, that are just easy for you. You don't sweat over them at all. So, and then what are the things that you are excellent at? Man, you can just knock it out. It is not, you just do it well every single time. I mean, which is not to say that you're not always working on your skills. You are, but what are the things that you do super well? Do you do data viz like nobody's business? Like you could be Ann Emery or Stephanie Evergreen because you're a rock star, right? So what are those things that you're excellent? Maybe it's qualitative data analysis. Maybe that's your jam and you do it really, really well. Or you are a super whiz at Stata or quantitative analysis, or you could write a report that people actually want to read. What are things that you're really excellent at? And then what are those things that give you energy while you're doing the project? All those things. I call it like kind of being in the right brain thing. When I can feel like my brain firing, I'm really focused. It's easy to focus. It doesn't require a lot of, cognitive effort on my part. I'm just like going. Those are probably the things that you gravitate towards. Like if you think about your list of things to do, we all have those like those frogs. Like my friend Julie always talks about, eat your frogs in the morning. Right? Frogs don't taste good, apparently. So that's the whole idea. It's Premack's principle. Or grandma's rule. First you eat your spinach and then you eat dessert. So those things that give you energy, that excite you, those things that you want to do before all those adulting businessy things, right? What are those kinds of things? These are all windows into your superpower. And then enjoyment, and yes, shameless plugs. These are my grandbabies. So this is Ellie and David under the Christmas tree. We're doing a special project. You can see like Ellie's like having a grand old time. David is having a grand old time looking at Ellie. So what are those things that bring you a lot of joy in your work? So you heard Megan talk a few minutes ago about, she realized she came to that moment where, oh my gosh, I really hate my job. So what are because isn't that the whole point of being an independent consultant, is you really want to do the things that you really enjoy. And shout out to Kamala. I'm glad you're here today, because I added this one for you, because you mentioned yesterday on the IC chat when we were talking about the linkage between passion and effort and all of those things. And Matt had on his screen luck. And you said something about you coming from a spiritual place. So I had to add that, because that's totally me too. That may not be your jam. That may not be your perspective. But I think that superpower really, for me, comes from that place of, I feel called to do this work. And so that's my tip 5.5. And that's a nod also to Matt, because he always adds like 5.5 tips. So hopefully you've been taking notes about your superpower. The other thing I want to mention that Anna talks about in her, in that podcast with Heather, is the Clifton Strengths Assessment. I don't know if you guys have ever taken that. I have not taken that. It looks like it's only, I don't know, $49.95. You know how they are. They want to make it like less than 50. So you feel like you're getting a bargain. I don't think it's like super expensive. I'm kind of curious. I may take that. Maybe some of you have taken that. But if you've kind of gone through this little conversation that we're having here and you haven't come up with anything, it might be something that you might want to look into. So let's have a conversation about maybe some of the superpowers that you've come up with, and I will tell you what I think mine is. All right, so thanks everybody. I'm going to stop recording now and we're going to have a conversation. So superpower. Anybody have a superpower? We have like about 20 minutes, and I definitely want to save, let's have a conversation for like 10 minutes. And then I want to have at least 10 minutes to talk about your place. We always ask a place that you're making progress, a place that you're stuck, and any questions that you have. So who would like to go first with their superpower?